All right, this is an REI Half Dome 2 Plus tent pole, and it has worn elastics. So this leg of the pole, the elastics are stretched out and they don't snap back in properly. And as a result, it binds up and you can't jam the poles back into the connectors. I already have this leg repaired. As you see, it snaps back nice and good. So I have some cut cord here. This is bungee cord. You could find it off of any online retailer, wherever you want to get it. REI was selling this stuff. It depends on the season whether or not they have it in stock. The only thing you'll notice and something to look out for is cord diameter. Some people complain that the product REI was selling was too thick for the tent poles, so REI pulled the product. So just go ahead and figure out what works for you. But this video I'll be showing you how to do it for this tent pole system, and I'm sure it's similar for a lot of them. So for this tent pole system, this is the junction where the legs, so this guy and this guy, come across. This is the crossbar going across the top of the tent, and then this post here is the one that keeps the door vestibule pushed out. So this junction, if I remove all these pieces, point it towards the camera, if you look inside here, you'll see that black cap. So if I pull all these out of the way, I should be able to push in on the paracord, and this little capture comes out. And you'll see on this guy, there is that little button there. And basically if I just run my fingernail in here, this should open up, okay? And then I can just go and fish the cord off the end of it, all right? And then I'm gonna pull the cord through here, okay? So now this is disconnected, right? So I have this leg free. What I like to do is put the legs together, and look, you see there's no elasticity here, excuse me. So I'll just put the legs together just so it's easier to pull the cord through. And when it comes to the end of the foot pole, you got this here, and this is what ends up staking through the corner of your tent, through the footprint, and then your rain fly goes over top of it. You'll notice on these, there's a dimple, right? You see that one dimple there as I'm rotating it down here? It's one dimple. So this foot's actually threaded, and that dimple is part of the threading. So if I twist this, you'll see it's starting to space out a little bit, right? And then got some dirt in here, so it doesn't want to turn too much, but you'll see this comes out. So you'll see the threading here, right? And then I can just go ahead and pull all my paracord out because this stuff's trash. Here's the end, and you'll see along here, this stuff doesn't stretch, right? It's coming taut, but it's not stretching at all. Whereas here's this new cord, I have it taut here, got a good stretch to it, right? Rebounds nicely and everything. Okay, so we know this is bad. You can see, you can tell because it's like hard and real thin and everything too. Towards the end where you have your lead, you'll see it'll still stretch a little bit, and you could also tell it's really fat there. So this stuff on the inside just gets worn out. So the foot itself has an opening on the one side on this tent, so I can just pull this through. Otherwise, you can cut it. So this is going to be garbage. So now looking back, I have this black piece that goes through the junction up here. I have the metal foot, right? I got the new cord, and I got the pole. So how I'll start is I'm matching the knot that comes in the factory installation on the cord, right? So it's an overhand, okay? and then you pull a loop through, a bite through, all right? So overhand, and then I'm pulling, right? Just grabbing the bite here, and I'm pulling it through, okay? So I'm creating a loop up here, and then my overhand's gonna bite onto my tail, my tag, all right? This is how my poles came. The original factory cord, it's tied in this knot. So then I'm just gonna go ahead and cinch this down. I want this big loop, and you're gonna want this big loop as well. And I'm gonna want a good amount of tag at the end because I don't want to just sliding through the knot. And I'm pulling this knot as tight as possible so that it fits nicely on the inside of the poles. So you want this big loop, okay? The reason for wanting the big loop is that when this separates here, okay, if my knot's too close, right, this isn't gonna play nicely. It's not gonna wanna slide back over it. I'm gonna constantly having to push the knot into the pole. I want my knot somewhere in the pole, okay? So I want this loop to have a good amount of length, all right? So I'm gonna take the end of the loop and I'm gonna push it up through where this pole is going, right? And it's gonna be coming out this side where this was sitting. Now, I got a set of forceps here that'll help me bite it because it doesn't wanna just push through. Tweezers would work, okay? However you can get it through. I'd recommend against using the tip of a pocket knife because if you cut the strands, then this will fail over time. So I'm gonna grab it, I'm gonna pull it through, okay? So just covering, we got our loop, right? Nice long loop, so it fits in the pole. I'm pulling it through here. This guy, right, who was in here before, easy enough, okay? And I'm gonna pinch it closed. All right, so we're here. Got our loop, we got this stopper that was in the junction originally. That's all good. And I'm just gonna pull this through. So now, to show you, the stopper's in there, right? That's how it looked in the beginning, perfect, okay? So now I got a long length of cord before the knot because I want my pole here and I don't want the knot here so that when it snaps in, it's not messing with that. So then now what I can do is go to the end of the cord that's free and knot on this side that has the dimple, right? Because that side's gonna get this. But on the other side of my pole, I can start feeding in my cord. Come to this knot here, I'm gonna push the tag through, okay? Just gonna be pushing my tag through with the cord. And then to work on the other end, I'm gonna pull the slack through and I'll butt the post up with the junction like it normally is. All right, so I came down to this end. Again, dimples over here for this to thread through. So I'll sleeve into the cord through my hook. And there's no tension on this right now, right? But I have the pole all assembled correctly. Hooks up against the end here. So I'll pinch and I'll pull out a good length. So now there's gonna be tension on it, right? So again, I'll just, no tension, grab here, pull tension on it. This will depend on the elasticity of your cord. Maybe I'm out a foot here, right? And then I'll just grab there, give myself some extra room, and I'll tie the knot here. very similar to the other one where it's an overhand with a loop, and I want to pull that knot real tight so that fits in the pole. Okay, then what I got to do is cut the excess length. Okay, and then just to take care of this end, I'll just hit it with a lighter so it doesn't fray on me. And I can just pinch that and it'll suck itself in, right? Because now this is all stretched out. That'll screw on. So once that's done, that's the side I was showing you I did in the beginning. Here's the side we just did together, right? Good elasticity, and they're all fixed.